So now let me share the screen. And in last lecture, we started this third chapter, non-linear data structure, and we were looking at the tree definitions and concepts. So let's start from there. I think I have not forgot to start recording. Yes, the screen is also shared. Okay. So now in this definitions and concepts, we have gone through a few definitions of tree and graph. So any doubts in any of the definition? No, right? Okay. So in last part of the last lecture, we were discussing about the path in the graph, and uh, so here in last lecture we were defining this paths. So the number of edges appearing in the sequence of path is called the length of path, right? And the path in the diagram in which the edges are distinct, that is called the simple path. And the path in which the nodes through which it traverses are distinct, that path is called the elementary path. So from this, how many paths are simple and how many paths are elementary? So here, this is the first path, only one edge is there. I am going from 2 to 4. So this is a simple path as well as elementary path, right? Now 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. Now here, when it is said the nodes are distinct, even though this 3 is appear 2 times, but we have to consider it as a distinct, because this the same node is referenced here, right? By 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, we are referencing the same node. So that's why the 2, 3 and 4 are considered as the distinct. But now, if in the path this 3 comes again, this 3 comes again at some place, then only we can say that nodes are getting repeated. Otherwise, we cannot say that looking at 2 3s it is repeated. So this path is also simple as well as elementary, right? This path is also simple as well as elementary path. Next, this 2 to 1 and 1 to 4, here also here two edges are distinct, all nodes are distinct, so this is also a simple path as well as elementary path. And here 2 to 3 and 3 to 1 and 1 to 4. So 2, 3, 1, 4, all these nodes are distinct. So this is also elementary path as well as simple path, right? But now here, if you see, look, 2 to 3, 3 to 2, and again 2 to 4. So this 2 is getting repeated 2 times. The path is originating from node 2, and through this path we want to reach at node 4, and in reaching the node 4, this path is visiting node 2 2 times. First at the initialization of the path and another in the middle of the path. So this is not an elementary path, but can we say it is simple path? Yes, because 2 to 3, 3 to 2 and 2 to 4 are different ages. Yeah, very good. So now let's go ahead. Now 2 to 2 and 2 to 4. What about this? So this is simple path, but not an elementary path, because this 2 is visited multiple times, 2 times in the path, right? So this is all about the paths, and now let's go ahead. So these are some conclusions from above definitions, that every elementary path, by mistaken I have written here part, it is path. Every elementary path of digraph is also a simple, right? And if there exists a path from node say U to V, then there must be an elementary path from U to V. So in the graph, if you say that there is a path between two nodes, then there must be an elementary path, right? It is not, you may be going from one node to another node through non-elementary paths also, but there would be an elementary path. And path which originates and ends in the same node is called cycle, or also called the circuit, right? A cycle or a circuit, right? So let's go ahead. Now the same terminology which we followed in the paths for elementary and simple path. Here cycles are also called elementary if it does not traverse through any node more than once, right? And path which is not elementary, it must contain cycles, and so by deleting such cycles we can obtain the elementary path. So in the graph, any path you take, if it is not elementary, then there must be a cycles in the path, and if you remove these cycles, then you will get the elementary path. So this we will check by going to the previous slide, but before that let us check all these cycles, whether these cycles are elementary or not. So the definition of elementary cycle is uh, if it traverses through a node not more than once, then it is called the elementary. So here in the cycle, this is an elementary cycle. Look, 2 to 2, this is an elementary cycle. 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. So here a 1 to 2 and 2 to 1. So here you can see this 2 is visited 2 times in this cycle. So this is not an elementary cycle, but while here this is elementary cycle, right? Now here next cycle is 2 to 3. So 2 to, sorry, 2 to 3, 3 to 1. So this 3 to 1 and 1 to 2, 1 to 2. So this is an elementary cycle because it is not visiting any node more than once, right? Now what about this one? 2 to 1, 1 to 4, 4 to 3 and 3 to 2. So 2, 1, 4, 3 and 2. So this is also an elementary cycle. So yeah, this is also an elementary cycle. Have you got this? Now the thing is, by deleting the cycles from an non-elementary path, we can get the elementary path. So to test this, let us go to the previous slide and select the non-elementary path. Which path is not elementary? For example, this path is not an elementary path, right? So let me first take the simple path. If you take this path 2 to 2 and 2 to 4, it is not an elementary path, and if it is not elementary, that means it is containing cycles. So 2 to 2, it is a cycle, and 2 to 4, so 2 to 4. So this cycle if you remove, you will get this path, and this path is elementary, right? Now let's take the another example. say this path 2 2 3, 3 2 2 and 2 2 4. Here let me draw that path in this figure, that is 2 2 3, then 3 2 2 and 2 2 4. So here you can see this is a cycle. If you remove this cycle 2 2 3 and 3 2 2, right, if you remove this cycle from the path, then you will get the same path as the path represented by P1. So it would become the elementary path. So you have to remove this cycle. Have you got this? Any questions? Okay, so let's go ahead. There are still many definitions. A simple digraph means directed graph. I hope you remember this. So the simple digraph which does not have any cycles is called acyclic graph. Acyclic digraph. Okay, and naturally such graphs cannot have any loops, right? And such graphs are also called trees. So trees are an important class of digraphs where there are no cycles, right? So trees are also can be called acyclic digraph, right? So a directive tree is an acyclic graph, or you can say digraph. Actually, a cyclic digraph is a more suitable terminology. So directive tree is an acyclic digraph which has one node called its root with the in degree 0, right? So only edges are coming out of that node, no edges are going towards that node. So such node is called the root, right? And all other nodes have an in degree of 1. So if I draw the tree here, say this is a tree, suppose this is a tree, and let me draw. I am not drawing arrows because you have to think that all arrows are downwards, right? So this is acyclic. Look, there are no cycles. There are no cycles in this graph, and in this graph, this node has 0 in degree. So this node is a root node, and all other nodes have 1 in degree. Say in degree is 1. Out degree may be more than 1, but the in degree is 1 only to all other nodes except this root. Root has in degree 0, right? So let's go ahead. Now, sorry, I should not deleted this. Okay. Every directed tree must have at least one node, right? So if this one node is there, then you can consider it as a tree, right? So every directed tree must have at least one node, and an isolated node is also a directed tree, right? And any node which has out degree 0 is called the terminal node or a leaf. So you look at all these nodes. All these nodes have out degree 0. All other nodes in the tree have out degree, but the terminal nodes, or you can say leaves have no out degree. And all other nodes are called the branch nodes. So all these nodes are the branch nodes, and all these nodes are the terminal nodes, or you can say leaves. A level of any node is the length of its path from the root. So any node, if you say level of that node, it is the length of that node's path from the root. So the level of root is 0, So level of this root is 0. The level of this node is 1. This node is 1. Level of this node is 2. This node is also 2, and this is also 2, and all these nodes have level 3 likewise. Okay. While the level of any node is equal to its distance from the root. Let's go ahead. So here is an example of a tree, right? Maximize it. So here you can see your this fifth chapter of nonlinear data structure is represented as a tree. So a real life example of tree it is. So this way you can represent a tree, right? So right. And all the paths in the directory are elementary, right? Because there are no cycles, and if you remove cycles from the non-elementary path, it becomes elementary path, and there are no cycles in the tree. So all the paths in directed tree are elementary, and hence every path is the distance between the nodes, because directed tree is acyclic, right? Okay. So let me remove the from here. Let's go ahead. In many applications, the the relative order of the node at any particular level has significance. Right? If you take any level of the tree, say this tree, the order is important. You cannot change the order. It depends on the application, and in some order is not important, right? So the two tree represent the same directed tree but maybe differently ordered tree. So the same directed tree can be differently ordered tree, like the figure B and figure C. See here, these two, uh, B and C, these two trees are what we say. These two trees are same directed trees, but if you consider the order, so order wise these two trees are different. So let me maximize it so that you can so here you can see the node V0, then V1. V1 is taken here to this side, and V1 has V2, V3 and V4 as a child. So V2, V3 and V4 are the childs. V5 and V6 are the childs of V2. So V5 and V6 are the childs of V2. V8 and V9 are the childs of V7, and V10 is the child of V9. So here you can see the same directed tree, but the order of this V1 and V7 is different. So order wise these two are the different but are the same directed trees. So where there is no importance of order, these two trees will be considered same. Otherwise these two trees are different as far as order is concerned. Now the second important thing is where to represent root node, right? So you can represent root node at the bottom level also, or you can represent the node at the top level also. It depends upon you, but in this data structure course we will follow this notation. We will always you represent the root at the top position, and actually in our real life trees we can see the roots are in the are with earth, right? So they are in the ground, so they are at the bottom position in a real tree. But in this literature, this notation is very famous, so we will follow this notation of representing the root node at the top position. Okay. Next, every node of a tree is the root of some subtree contained in the original tree. So every node of a tree is the root of some subtree. So for example, if I draw a tree here, so here you can see every node, right? So every node is a root of the some subtree. So you can consider this tree, and this tree is made up of these two subtrees. This tree is made up of these two subtrees in that way. So if we delete the root and the edge is connecting the root to the nodes at level 1, we get the subtrees with the roots, which are the nodes at level 1. So what it says is, if you remove the root node and the edges which are connecting, then you will get the subtrees, right? And all the nodes which were at level 1, those many subtrees you will get. So the number of subtrees of node is called the degree of the node. So here the degree of this node is 2, because from this there are 2 subtrees, right? So there can be what we say, there can be multiple degrees of node. So for example, if I extend this tree now, if I extend this tree now, the degree of this root node is 4, degree of this node is 2, degree of this node is 2, degree of this node is 1, and degree of this node is also 1, and degree of all the terminal nodes is 0, right? So the degree of terminal nodes is 0. If we delete the root and its edges connecting the nodes at level 1, we obtain the set of disjoint trees, right? So let me do this. Let me remove the node and all the edges which are connecting. Then I am getting the 4 subtrees, and this is a set of disjoint trees, right? And such disjoint trees is called the forest. So this is now a forest. This is now a forest. So this forest means the disjoint set of the trees, right? Okay, let's go ahead. So now at this point, we can now represent the recursive definition of the tree. So the recursive definition of tree is that a tree that contains one or more nodes such that one of the nodes is called the root, while all other nodes are partitioned into finite number of trees is called a subtrees, right? So this is a recursive definition. Why recursive definition? Because in the definition of tree we are using the word tree, that's why. So the recursive definition of tree is the tree that contains one or more nodes such that one of the node is called the root, while the other nodes are partitioned into the finite number of trees. So here if I want to explain this definition, so let me draw the root again back. and let me draw the branches. So this, this, this. So now if I give the recursive definition of this tree, let me increase the level. Let me draw some nodes here also, and let me draw the branches. Okay, so this is tree, and in this tree, if I follow this recursive definition, so tree which contains one or more nodes, so there are one or more nodes. One of the nodes is called the root, so this node is the root, right? So okay, so this node is root, while all these other nodes are partitioned into finite number of trees called subtrees. So all other nodes, this node can be partitioned into a subtrees, this and this. This node also can be partitioned into a subtrees, this and this, in that way, and so on. So this is the recursive definition, okay, of the tree. Now let's go ahead. Uh, Someone has to tell me if we are going ahead of 40 minutes. So there are several ways in which a directed tree can be represented graphically, like say this Venn diagram. So here the tree can be represented in this way also, or nesting parenthesis like this, a table of contents like this, and label number format like this. So from these different presentations, we can note that any completely parenthesized expression can be represented by a tree structure, right? So let me make it big. So here this is tree. So V0 is what? Can you tell me what is V0?
Root.
Yeah. So V0 is the root, and this root has two subtrees, that is a V1 and V7, right? 1 and 7. I am not writing V, right? Now this V1 has how many subtrees? V1 has how many subtrees?
3.
3, right? And V3, V4, and the subtree which starts from V2. So V2, V3, and V4. And 2 again has two subtrees, that is 5 and 6, right? And that way. Now what about this? The same tree is represented in the form of this parenthesis. V0 is the root, V1 is the first subtree, and V1 has V2 as the subtree, V2 has V5 and V6 as subtree, and now V3 is also the subtree of V1, and V4 is also the subtree of V1. Now the bracket of V1 is over here, and so on, right? In the same way, we can also, same tree can be represented with this V0, table of contents. V1 is subtree and V7 is subtree. Then V2 has V5 and V6, and V1 has V2, V3 and V4, like this. And you can also mention it using the labels. So here, label 1 for V0, that is root. Label 2 for V1 and V7, right? Label 2 for V1 and V7. Label 3 for 2, 3, 4. So label 3 for 2, 3 and 4. And this 5 and 6 are at level 5 and level 4. So any questions from this? No, right?
Oh, sir.
From these different representations, we can observe that uh, the any completely parenthesized expression can be represented as a tree structure. So that is, here you can see this is a parenthesized expression, and this parenthesized expression we can represent as a tree, right? So v4 in raised to v5, the operator will be the node and operands will be the leaf nodes. Then it should be plus with the this whatever answer you get by applying v4 raised to v5, it should be added with the v3, and then there is a minus here, minus there is v1 and v2, these two operations, this operation is also as the priority, and this should be subtracted from this. Clear, all of you? Right. So
Yes,
all the
sir.
operation, yeah, all the operation which has the higher priority, you have to draw the tree first for this. So first operation will be done this. So you draw the subtree for this. The second operation which will be done is the parenthesis has the highest priority. So you draw this. Okay. So you draw this tree. Then third operation which will be done is v1 into v2. So draw this subtree, and there then apply the minus to all these two subtrees, right? And that wise, and that. So now there are still many more definitions. Let me see the time. Okay, still we have time. It's just okay, 2 and 10. Let me take 5 minutes, then we will complete the lecture. Okay. So every node that is reachable from a node is called the descendant node. Okay, so if you uh, draw a tree, say this is the tree. Suppose this is a tree. So this is tree, and now in this tree, every node which is reachable from the node is the descendant of that node. So if I take this node, then the all nodes which are reachable from this node, say this, and all these four nodes are called the descendant of this node, right? And the nodes which are reachable from the node through a single edge are called the children of that node. So how many children are there? So for this node, the children are these two, because these two nodes are reachable by just a single edge. If in a directory tree, the directed tree, the if in a directed tree, the out degree of every node is less than or equal to m, right? So in a directed tree, if the out degree of every node is less than or equal to m, then that tree called m-array tree. So here the out degree of every node is less than or equal to 2. So this is called the binary tree. Okay. Suppose if I draw one more node, say this, and if I draw edge, now you see this is a ternary three-array tree, or you can say ternary tree, because the root has 3 out degree. Okay, so the out degree will decides the type of tree. Right? And the out degree of every node is, if the out degree of every node is exactly equal to m or 0, and the number of nodes at level I is m raised to I minus 1, assuming that the root node has a level number 1, then the tree is called the full or complete array tree. So can you say whether this tree is a complete array tree or not?
No,
What
sir.
it says? What answer you gave?
No.
Yeah, because the out degree of every node must be exactly m or 0. So the out degree of this node is 3, but this node is 2. So it is not the complete binary tree. But the another condition is, but first condition is broken. So this is not the complete array tree. And the number of nodes at level I is m raised to I minus 1. Right. So this is the second condition. So let me make the this tree some modifications. So say uh, okay, and say I make this also ternary tree, yeah. And let me draw the nodes. So for this tree, okay, uh, okay. Now can you say this is a complete ternary tree, complete array tree? So here you can check the every node is exactly equal to m or 0. Yes, here every node has 3, 3, 3 or 0 ordinary. So first condition is satisfied. Now check the second condition. The level I must have m raised to I minus 1. So 3 raised to 1 is 3. So at the level number, the root node has the level number of 1. So at level 1, 3 raised to 1 minus 1. So 2 nodes. So actually this should be 0. M raised to 0. Okay. So 2 nodes are required at the root node. Okay. And at this level, if you see, there are 3 nodes. So 3 raised to 1 minus 1, 2. So the second condition is not getting followed. So this is also not the complete array or full array tree. But now what next definition says, let's see. The array tree in which the m or fewer children, the array tree in which m or fewer children of any nodes are assumed to have m distinct position, and if such position are taken into account, then the tree is called the positional array tree. So look, for array tree in which m or fewer children of any node are assumed to have m distinct positions. So uh, and if you take these positions into account, then this tree is called the positional array tree. That means, look, every node may have m or less than m childs, and if you are able to put this childs at different positions, means you change the order of these children, right? And if you consider it as a distinct tree after changing the order of the children, if you consider it as a distinct tree, then it is called the positional array tree, right? So let's go ahead. Okay. So here, this is the example of binary trees and complete binary trees. So let's check. Here, this node has out degree 2. This node has also out degree 2. And this node has out degree 1. So this is not a complete binary tree, right? And here, out degree 2, 2 and 2. And the out degree of this nodes is 0. So this is a complete binary tree. First condition is satisfied. Second condition says at every level, right, there must be the m raised to I. So this is a binary tree. So 2 raised to 1 minus 1 equal to 1. So at the root node level we have 1. Now at the second level, so 2 raised to 2 minus 1 equal to 3. So why it is not matching? I think there is some problem with this definition. I will have to check it out. At level I, and the number of nodes at level I is this, assuming that the root node has the level number of 1. Okay, so this complete M-array tree we will cover in next lecture, right? Because looking at the definition, I think the second condition is has some mistake, or what it wants to say we'll see in next lecture. Okay. So any questions? Students? So let me stop sharing screen. Let me take an attendance. And let me stop recording.